And good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to day number 2 of the post-22 American Legion Firecracker Baseball Tournament. Live from Fitzgerald Stadium, we bring you first in our first of 5 games in today's Hard Hats TV showcase. It'll be the Pueblo Azteca team 1-0 in the Firecracker Tournament, 19-3 on the season, visiting officially on a neutral site the Papillion Pinnacle Bank Post 32 team, who comes in with a mark of 0-1. We're happy to have you with us. My name is Mike Fell. Oliver Fell, the voice of Hard Hats TV, will be with you throughout the day. I'll be bringing you the broadcast for this first of 5 games today. And what a beautiful morning it is. Oh, what a beautiful morning, as Gordon McRae used to sing in the movie Oklahoma. Yes, we are going to have ourselves a great day for baseball. Oh, and the forecast says that those pop-up thunderstorms that have been a normal element of the weather the last several days here in Rapid City are no longer a part of the forecast. So we're expecting a dry Saturday, a beautiful day for baseball. Highs expected in the low 80s today. And we get things going first with a great matchup between Pinnacle Bank Papillion and Pueblo Azteca. Pueblo Azteca, considered a very serious contender here in the Firecracker tournament this year. They've only lost 3 games all season, and they feature a pair of super seniors, Tyler Clemens and Carter Norris, who each were a part of the CSU Pueblo program at the collegiate level earlier this year. Dylan and Troy Gavin, Dennis Downs, and Ryan Potts are the coaches for Pueblo Azteca. This is an athletic team. This is a balanced team, and boy, did they make an opening statement with an impressive 8-0 6-inning victory over the Missoula Mavericks in Game 2 of our 4-game showcase we had for you on Hard Hats TV yesterday afternoon and last night. Pueblo coming in 1-0, and the Azteca team today scheduled to only have 1 game, and that is this morning's game. As far as their lineup, their doubleheader day, as we call it, is tomorrow. They'll play a pair of games again against Papillion and at 2 o'clock, and then they'll take on Next Level at 4:30, and the tail end of that Pueblo Next Level game is going to really draw a big crowd, because it's the fireworks display night tomorrow night, and that game is before the post-22 Hard Hats sold-out game against the Missoula Mavericks that we'll have for you on Hard Hats TV tomorrow night. So it's interesting. Pueblo and Papillion, they will play each other twice, and this is the first of 2 meetings between these teams, and we'll see how things play out. Pueblo Azteca's final game will be against their Front Range neighbors to the north, the Rocky Mountain Lobos, at 11:30 on Monday morning. And this is such a great tournament, a 5-day showcase. Boy, did we have some impressive performances to tell you about from day 1 last night. Next Level from Asheville, North Carolina, they have a way of making their opponents look like they're lower level, as they were able to win 11-0 yesterday over Papillion. This Next Level team ranked in the top 20 in the United States of America. This is a tremendously good team, and Next Level, they will play in the game coming up next, game number 2 of the day. Oliver Fell will have the broadcast between Premier West from Arvada, Colorado, and Next Level at 11:30. We get you started with Papillion versus Pueblo, and let's go ahead and get to our starting lineups. First, for the visitors in this game, Pueblo Azteca. Starting out playing center field, Mike Casillas. Batting second is a shortstop, Easy Rojas. Batting third, designated hitter Jason Arita. Batting fourth for Pueblo Azteca, coming in with a 19-3 mark, is Andrea Plouffe. batting fifth. And playing first base is Sean McGinty. Playing the hot corner and hitting sixth for Pueblo Azteca is Colt Calderon. Batting seventh, the left fielder Brady Cristelli. Batting eighth, the playing catcher behind the plate is Gabe Wren. And in the 9-hole for the Pueblo Azteca team is Ethan Ayala. So for Pueblo Azteca, it's Casillas Rojas Arita, Plouffe McGinty Calderon, Cristelli Wren, and Ayala. And on the mound, hailing from Chandler, Arizona, is Tyler Clements. He gets the start for Pueblo Azteca, who is going for their 20th win on the season. For Papillion Pinnacle Bank, and a big shout out to anybody I might know. My name is Mike Fell. I never know who's living in Papillion. I went to Creighton Prep back in the 80s. Of course, if you know football in the 80s, you know Prep and Papillion had some tremendous games back in the day. Papillion features a starting lineup that looks this way. Leading off, center fielder Jake Franks. Batting second, playing first base, Braden Jones. Hitting third for Papillion is Tanner Afkar. Batting fourth for Papillion-La Vista is right fielder Hunter Jones. Hitting fifth is Connor Ossenfort, the designated hitter. Batting sixth and playing shortstop, it's Alex Imig. Batting seventh for Papillion Pinnacle Bank, it's left fielder Trent Levecki. Hitting eighth for Papillion, it's second baseman Aiden Vodka. And batting ninth, it's Nathan Gabriel. So for Papillion, the starting lineup reads this way: Franks, Jones, Braden Jones, Apgar, Hunter Jones, Ossenfort, Alex Imig, batting Levecki, Vodka, and Gabriel. And on the mound, it's Caden Sterling getting his first start here at the Firecracker tournament with game number 1 of our 5-game showcase. It all winds up tonight with the Post 22 Hard Hats playing a doubleheader, and Oliver Fell will have the action for you really from games 2 through 5. He'll be our primary broadcaster. I'm just getting things kicked off today. We're Pueblo Azteca and Papillion Pinnacle Bank. So a little fun fact, if you love history and you love baseball, and I of course absolutely love both, consider myself a borderline baseball historian to be candid, and I can share with you, how about the history of Pueblo, Colorado with the Brooklyn Dodgers? Pee Wee Reese, Roy Campanella, and a number of those legendary Dodgers from the 1940s and 50s, they got their first real minor league assignment in Pueblo, Colorado. That's right, Pueblo had a Dodgers farm team, and this is a very different time and place. Believe it or not, Pueblo was the second largest city in Colorado, and if you've been to Pueblo, and not just Pueblo West, but all of Pueblo, you know that in Pueblo there are a lot of huge empty factories. Pueblo was one of the few cities in the West that actually made things, that had major manufacturing back in the day, and to support that great manufacturing community in southern Colorado, Pueblo, which was also very much a ranching hub and farming hub back in the day, they had a minor league team, and the Brooklyn Dodgers were using Pueblo as their farm team before they even moved west and became the Los Angeles Dodgers. So there you go. That's a interesting baseball connection, but I don't think a more special connection if you're from Pueblo, Colorado and you love baseball than to know that you were the Dodgers farm team back in the glory days of those Walter Alston teams back in the day. Well, we're getting set to go. To lead things off, it's Mike Casillas. Pueblo Azteca comes out in their blue tops with the white pants, and Papillion Pinnacle Bank is in their red tops with white pants. And the first pitch from Caden Sterling is underway, and that pitch is outside for ball 1. We're underway. Give a shout out to Kelly Roach, the organizer of the tournament, of the Firecracker, doing a great job getting everything put together. I want to give a shout out to Darren Good, our Post 22 super parent, as we call him. He's always around helping us out on Hard Hats TV. There's a pitch over by Sterling for a strike. The count quickly moves to 1-2, and I mean quickly. This pitcher can pitch about as fast as I can talk. Here comes a pitch from Caden Sterling. That pitch is outside for ball number 2. So the count evens at 2 apiece. Leadoff hitter to start our 5-game showcase at the plate right now, and Mike Casillas. Casillas, a right-handed swinger, swings and misses at strike 3. And Caden Sterling gets his man to start things out.
I absolutely love Mike Casillas because I call him the hooded bandit. He has the hoodie on again. You can see it hanging out the back of his jersey over there.
Oh, that is funny.
He's still got the hoodie on. He never goes without it. It is maybe 78, 79 out here.
Yeah, it could be his lucky hoodie.
It could be.
A pitch to Easy Rojas.
Pretty well last night. I think it's Eze.
Oh, Eze Rojas. Thank you.
Yeah.
Eze Rojas comes up to hit. Wonder if there's any relation to former Royals legend Cookie Rojas. Ball is lifted to center field, and it is going to be caught by Pinnacle Bank Papillion. Post 32 for out number 2.
Oh no, you're probably right actually. It probably is easy.
Ezekiel.
Yeah, because Ezekiel, so I would guess it's... I was thinking it was a different kind of abbreviation.
No, Ezekiel Rojas, or Easy Rojas,
he could throw
flies out to center.
According to his perfect game page, as of fall 2022, he could throw a 91-mile-per-hour fastball.
Oh, that's something else. There's a pitch to Jason Arita. He lifts the ball to right field, and that'll be a hit. And the first man is aboard in the ball game. Arita, the designated hitter, able to get on base. And now here comes the cleanup hitter, Andrea Plouffe. Plouffe bats right-handed, faces right-handed pitcher Caden Sterling. We're just underway. Happy to have you with us here at Fitzgerald Stadium, a ballpark established back in 1957. Pitch is over for a strike to Andrea Plouffe. And Pueblo Azteca trying to get to 2-0 in the tournament. As I mentioned earlier, this is the only game they'll play today. Wonder if they're going to go somewhere fun, maybe go to Mount Rushmore, see the sights a little bit with their early game being their only game. Caden Sterling looks back to first, throws back to first, now throws home. There's a pitch inside for a ball, and the count evens at 1 apiece. Pinnacle Bank Papillion did not play in the College World Series tournament in Omaha. You would have thought they would have played there, but they probably made arrangements to go to another tournament a little farther from home. I want to thank our friends at Millard South and Millard West, who are great hosts to us. Here comes a pitch inside, and that's over for a strike. You can tell early on the home plate umpire is going to call that inside strike in this ball game. I always like that because it takes a certain element of courage to pitch inside. Here comes the pitch. Ball is drilled to the shortstop. Throw to first is on the money, and that'll do it. And Papillion, post 32, gets a nice round of applause from the Omaha area faithful who have made the trek 7 hours to Rapid City. In the top half of the first inning for Pueblo Azteca, they had 1 hit. There were no runs, there were no errors, and there was 1 man left at first base. Through a half inning of play here at Fitzgerald Stadium in Rapid City, South Dakota, no score. Papillion-La Vista, post 32, Pinnacle Bank coming up in the bottom half, the home half of the first.
Yeah, looking at this Pueblo Azteca team, they've got several college commits. They've got a trio of Thunderwolves between Michael Casillas, Tyler Clements, and Carter Norris. They've got Braxton Bale, who is going to be pitching at Trinidad State Junior College later this year. They've just got a ton of college talent that's ready for the next level. Outside of that, Andrew Pludd is going to Mesa Community College. He will play with Ridge Inhofer next year. That's where Ridge Inhofer, the Hard Hats catcher / center fielder, is playing. And then also Bryant Armijo Martin from Pueblo Centennial. He's going to St. Xavier. I'm not sure if he's on this team though. No. But anyways, this is quite the interesting one. I'm sure that Michael Casillas' brother Matthew Casillas, he's got coming up on his senior season. He will have a college location as well, I would assume.
You bet. All right, thank you, Oliver, for that great piece of research. Got to mention Carter Norris. He's from Texas, and when I see a Norris from Texas, of course, I have to think of Walker, Texas Ranger, with the legendary Chuck Norris. So I don't know if anyone ever calls Carter Norris Walker, Texas Ranger, but there you go. It's in play. If anyone out there is thinking about finding a nickname for Mr. Carter Norris for Pueblo Azteca,
You have to pay royalties too.
no, you don't. Nobody pays me anything. There's a pitch outside for a ball.
That's the truth.
Jake Franks will lead things off for Pinnacle Bank from Papillion, Nebraska. There's a swing and a miss. Count now evens at 1-1. Jake Franks trying to get something going here as the Pinnacle Bank team gets their first at bat. And that ball is going to be drilled to first for out number 1.
Notice John Gonzalez not at the first base right now for this Pueblo team. Gonzalez went 3 for 4 with 4 RBIs yesterday at the cleanup spot, and they're giving him a little bit of rest today. He'll get to play tomorrow, I bet.
You wonder if he might pinch hit if available. Pitch to Braden Jones. Jones hits it hard, and it will go all the way to the wall. Braden churning and burning towards second base, and he'll have a stand-up double for Pinnacle Bank from Papillion, Nebraska. And now there'll be a substitution courtesy run. Nope, we will not have a substitution courtesy runner. We'll simply have someone kind enough to grab the batting gloves from Braden Jones. And now here comes Tanner Apgar. Tanner, who plays the hot corner for Pinnacle Bank Papillion. Gets a pitch, likes what he sees, hits the ball into the outfield, and it is caught by the right fielder for out number 2 here in the bottom of the first inning. Now Hunter Jones comes up to bat. Hunter Jones, that's a baseball name. You know, certain names like Michael Stonebreaker seem to like fit a linebacker really well in football. Hunter Jones just seems perfect for a baseball name. The pitcher for Pueblo Azteca, Tyler Clements, fires outside for ball 1. Hunter Jones trying to bring home the first run of the game. Braden Jones, who does not have blistering speed, has a little bit of a lead off second base. Represents the go-ahead run. There's a swing and a miss, and Clements really pulled the string with that off-speed offering. Count is balanced now at 1 ball and 1 strike. Mike Fell with you. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you're watching, from Colorado or Nebraska or anywhere else, maybe right here in Rapid City. Ball is fouled away. Nebraska and Colorado, once upon a time, had a great football rivalry in the old Big 8, Big 12 conference, which Nebraska won almost all the time. Here comes the pitch, and the ball is outside. Count goes to 2 balls and 2 strikes, but boy, did the Nebraska Cornhuskers and Colorado Buffaloes have some great games for a better part of 20 years. Hunter Jones now waiting for the 2-2 pitch with 2 outs here in the bottom of the first. No score in Rapid City. And there's a swing and a miss, and the runner is tagged out, and Tyler Clements, with excitement, claps his hand and his glove together, and that'll do it for the bottom of the first. And both teams have each stranded 1 runner in the first inning of this ball game. And Tyler Clements able to record his first strikeout of the game. So in the bottom of the first inning for Pinnacle Bank Papillion post 32, there were no runs, there was 1 hit, there were no errors, and there was 1 man left in scoring position. Through an inning of play here in Rapid City at Dave Plew Field, it's the Pueblo Azteca team and the Post 32, Papillion Pinnacle Bank team, scoreless, heading to the second inning.
Now, here's something about this Pueblo team. They recently, meanwhile we were in Omaha playing the College World Series Legion tournament, they held their own tournament, the Tode Andalucio Nuke Memorial Tournament in Pueblo, and our good friends from Cheyenne Post 6 were down there. Cheyenne Post 6 advanced to the semifinals of that tournament before losing to the Azteca team 2-0. Hard Hats are 5-2 against them this year, or wait, 6-2 against them this year as a team. That's a very impressive win. They won 2-0 on June 18th.
Very impressive. Want to mention, if you're a Papillion fan and you're also, just like me, a Nebraska Cornhusker fan, you should know of a pitcher named Bradley Feaser. He is a dominant, hard-throwing ace out of Cheyenne, Wyoming, that's committed to play for Will Bolt and the Huskers next year. There's a pitch outside for ball one to Sean McGinty, who leads things off. McGinty, Calderon, and Cristelli due up for Pueblo Azteca here in the top of the second. Second pitch from Caden Sterling is a strike. Count now evens at 1 ball and 1 strike. This is the first of a 5-game extravaganza for you on this 4th of July weekend, on this day 2 of our 5-day tournament, the Firecracker tournament. I fielded a question earlier, and somebody said, where can we order a lot of pizza for carryout? I gave them an answer. I won't share the answer on the air because I don't know if we have a sponsor, maybe with another pizza place. But anyway, here we go. Count is now 2-2. Here comes a pitch to Sean McGinty, and it is outside for ball 3. Count is now full to the leadoff hitter here in the visitors' half of the second inning. Sean McGinty, the number 5 hitter, waits for the pitch, and he hits the ball out of play. And there are 2 boys chasing the foul ball. So there is some competition for foul ball retrieval, even in this first game of the day, Oliver.
Yeah, I mean that's helpful because last night with the wet Pueblo game that they had against who was that again? Missoula?
Yes.
Yeah, against Missoula, it was all wet in between the games. The kids weren't out, they weren't running, and there are several foul balls still sitting around on this lawn that need to be picked up.
There we go. Here comes the 8th pitch in this at bat from Sterling, and that's ball 4 outside. So Pueblo Azteca is able to get the leadoff man aboard to start things off here in the second inning. And now here comes Colt Calderon. Colt Calderon getting some encouragement from some of the great fans who made the trip from the southern tip of the Front Range. One of the fans says, let's go, Calderon. Let's see what Colt Calderon can do here. Pitch to Colt is fouled right off the chest plate of the umpire.
Here's some Colt Calderon, the only underclassman currently on this varsity Azteca team. He's a sophomore going on junior year.
I guess that makes him a young Colt.
That's a good
Almost
one.
just a step above being a gelding. Here comes a pitch. It's outside.
Well, he ain't no Philly.
There.
So,
Well, no.
1-1.
Of course not. 1-1. Pitch coming now to Colt Calderon. Sean McGinty with a bit of a lead off of first base. There's a pitch out over for strike 2. Both pitchers working quickly and working with confidence, and neither one of these pitchers afraid to go inside and challenge the hitters. We're in for a great game this morning, everybody. Comes a pitch, it's high and outside for a ball. The count's now 2 balls and 2 strikes. Mike Fell, Oliver Fell with you from Fitzgerald Stadium. Glad to have you along here on Hard Hats TV this morning. Oliver doing a great job running the scoreboard, providing some color commentary and a lot of information. There's a ball fouled back, and the little boys are chasing each other past the ice machine. And that was a good effort there between those 2 youngsters.
That's like about the only place in the stadium that is not turf. At Fitzgerald
and the warning track.
Stadium.
The ball is fouled back to the high screen, and the count now stays at 2 balls and 2 strikes to Colt Calderon. As Oliver mentioned a moment ago, Colt, the only underclassman on this outstanding Pueblo Azteca program. There's a throw back to first, and McGinty able to dive back to the bag successfully. One thing we did not see in the post 22 victory last night. There's a swing and a miss. Strike 3, and Colt goes down swinging. He's the second strikeout victim for Caden Sterling this morning. That's out number 1. Very effective way to keep that runner at first base and record an out, of course, is to get that strikeout. But in post 22's impressive win, 10-3 victory last night, we did not. I'll get back to the point in a moment. There's outside pitch to Brady Cristelli, who now comes up to bat. I like to tell stories, but I'll tell you, these pitchers work so quickly.
Yeah.
I really need to keep my storytelling on the shelf for a while.
Yeah, really. I mean, this Papillion team, they ran an hour 31 in their game against the Next Level baseball team. In their one, that was a pretty quick game, and then even quicker than that, an hour 28 was
Wow.
the Pueblo Azteca yesterday when they played Missoula.
Man, that's the complete opposite of an old Texas Rangers game from the 80s. Those games used to be about 3.5 hours all the time.
You could practically, I mean, buy a few movie tickets at that point.
Yeah. If you're a Texas Rangers fan from the 80s, good for you. There were some great moments. There were some fun shootouts.
You got to play at night.
I tell people Arlington Stadium in the 80s was Coors Field before there was Coors Field. There's a pitch outside for ball 4, and Brady Cristelli draws a base on balls, and Sean McGinty moves on to second. And now, for the first time this morning, one of these two teams, Pueblo Azteca and Pinnacle Bank Papillion, has a pair of runners on with just 1 out. So really an ideal scoring opportunity here for Pueblo Azteca, as now backstop Gabe Wren comes to the plate. Wren batting right-handed against the right-handed pitcher Caden Sterling. And we've got a time called, and the catcher for Papillion post 32, Nathan Gabriel, goes out to give a word of insight to his pitcher, Caden Sterling. Comes the pitch to Gabe Wren. Pitch high, up, it hits the top edge of that strike zone for strike 1. So we've seen that the inside pitches today are going to be called strikes. Now we know that the high cheese has a chance to draw a strike call as well. Comes another pitch. Whereas I love large strike zones. I'm a big fan of large strike zones. If you can hit the ball as a pitcher, as a hitter, by golly, benefit of the doubt ought to go to the pitcher. That's how I've always looked at it. Here comes the pitch from Sterling, and that is outside for ball 2. How do you feel about that one, Oliver? You like borderline calls going to pitchers or hitters?
I don't like extended strike zones just like to the edge of the zone. If you think it's on the borderline, by all means give it to the pitcher. Because by the rulebook's definition, if any part of the ball goes over that plate, the whole thing is a strike. So if it just clips it, that counts. But I don't like when when
Here we get back to action. Wren lifts a foul ball down the line, and it will just barely go over the bullpen fence out of play.
yeah.
And we'll do it all over again with 2 balls and 2 strikes with 2 on and 1 out. Go ahead, Oliver.
Yeah, I'm not too much of a fan of when umpires extend the strike zone to the edges of the batter's box. That feels a little overkill for me, and I saw it in a game against, I believe it was against the against Fremont this last week, and Zeke Farley had a few taken calls. He has great eyes. He knows exactly where that strike zone is, but he had a couple where it wasn't going to work out on this up's watch.
Thanks, Oliver. We just had a pitch outside. The count now goes to 3 balls and 2 strikes. 3-2-1 count here. 2-on with a bit of a lead for Pueblo Azteca. Sterling fires home. They called time right before that pitch was delivered. I think for Gabe Wren, he just got tired of waiting. Can't say I blame him, as Caden Sterling was taking a lot of time thinking about either throwing back to second or first. Sterling fires home. Full count. Pitch is a ball, and the bases are loaded. And listen to these fans who have come all the way from Pueblo, Colorado. So here's my favorite Pueblo story. When I worked at Moose 102 radio station in Colorado Springs, I used to go to Pueblo to make some sales calls from time to time. And one day I was about to go see a visit with the bank about some advertising, and I looked down and there was a lizard on my shoe. I'm from Omaha, Nebraska. How about that, Papio fans? And you know what? There's not a lizard in Omaha that's going to crawl on one shoe. That's when I realized, to quote Bob Seger from Hollywood Nights, I realized I might have been a little too far from home. Here comes the 1-0 pitch to Ethan Ayala, the number 9 hitter with the bases loaded. Ayala swats, hits the ball down the line. That's fair. That'll bring in at least 2 runs. Pueblo Azteca goes up 2-0 on Ethan Ayala's double down the line, down the right field line into the corner, and Pueblo Azteca has taken a 2-0 lead over Pinnacle Bank Papillion here in the second, with Ethan Ayala, the number 9 hitter, coming through big time with a 1-out 2-run double. And now Gabe Wren is at third base, Ayala is at second, and we flip to the top of the order. Here comes Mike Casillas, who was a strikeout victim against Caden Sterling his first time up. So Pueblo Azteca in the top of the second inning has struck first in this clash of great teams from Nebraska and Colorado. Here comes the pitch. It's fouled away by Mike Casillas. Count is now 1-1 strike. Casillas, as Oliver mentioned earlier, wears that hoodie. He's a hoodie guy. A man that Bill Belichick would love. There's a pitch inside for a ball. It's now 2-1. Caden Sterling trying to negotiate out of trouble. He's given up a pair of runs, both earned, and he has 2 men in scoring position with 1 out here. First base is open, so the double play is really not in effect at this moment in time. There's another pitch that's outside. The count's quickly moved to 3-1. Let's see if Caden Sterling can limit the damage here in the second inning. There's a pitch that's outside, ball 4, and the bases are loaded yet again. And now here comes Easy Rojas, who flew out to center field his first time up. And Pinnacle Bank coach Nate McCabe, by the way, Oliver, now going out to the pitcher's mound to have a talk with his starter, Caden Sterling, with the bases loaded and Pueblo Azteca leading 2-0 here in the second.
Yeah, so something else about Easy Rojas, you're coming up against a guy here that hit a very, very hard hit high double that went above those there lights that illuminate this field. It went as high as those and landed over by that shield sign and left right against the wall. Wow. It was such a shot. And then he got a 2-run tank yesterday too. So he's got a ton of power. And not only can he throw 91 on the mound, he already has a homer here in this tourney.
How about that?
He's tied with Ridge Inhofer as the only other guy to get one.
Easy Rojas now coming up with the bases loaded. Double play ball is in play here with loaded bases and 1 out. Post 32, Pinnacle Bank in Papillion, Nebraska, hoping to dodge out of difficulty. Currently trailing just 2-0. Good morning, everybody. You're watching the Firecracker tournament, and welcome to
Oh, not
July.
again.
And there's a foul ball that
Oh.
hits a sensitive area for Papillion's catcher, Nathan Gabriel. Let's hope he's okay. He is on his feet. That's a good sign. But that rarely tells the whole story with the nature of the injury just sustained. 2-0, Pueblo Azteca leading. They have the bases loaded. There's one out. Coach Nate McCabe comes out to talk to his catcher. I don't know if
I think
Nate
he's going to
McCabe.
stay in, though.
Yeah, he is.
We had somebody earlier that
He's
was
tough.
on. There was
He's
somebody
tough.
on the Casper Oilers that was a catcher that had that same thing happen to him. He
That's
had to
right.
leave the game.
Well, he's tough. Now, sometimes you see guys hang in there and stay in there, and then they get pulled a little bit later on when
Or they go to the bench
they
to
just
bat or
they
something.
just can't do what they usually do. Ball is hit hard to center field. It's playable, and it is caught. Tagging and coming home from third base is Gabe Wren, and he will score. And the throw to third is not in time as Ethan Ayala tags up from second, goes to third, and now it's 3-0. Pueblo Azteca able to add to their lead with an RBI from a sac fly RBI from Easy Rojas. That's the second out of the inning. And now Mike Casillas is at third base. No, he's still at first base, rather. And now here comes Jason Arita. And there's a stolen base by Mike Casillas. Again, the man with the hoodie. He gets the stolen base. And now a pair of runners are in scoring position. Pueblo Azteca, they sure put pressure on the opposing team. They're just a good hitting, balanced team with great speed and athleticism. There's a pitch. It's lifted softly, and it lands beyond the third baseman. 1 run will score. 2 runs will score. And sliding into second base with a 2-run double is Jason Arita. And then a throw gets away from second base, and Arita standing at third base on a throwing error from third baseman Tanner Apgar, as Apgar was throwing to second against the fence beyond the visiting dugout. And Arita's at third base. He gets a 2-run double.
Mm-hmm.
And Mike Casillas and Ethan Ayala are able to score and make the score 5-0. It's now 5-0, and that's a high pitch. It just grazed the head of Andrea Plouffe. At third base, it's Jason Arita. And there's a pitch inside. The count goes to 2-1. Understand that some of the name pronunciations by yours truly are a bit off. If you're a Pueblo Azteca fan, my apologies. We're getting some help right now. My son Oliver's getting the correct pronunciations, and we will make it right, folks. We will make it right. It's what we do. Count is 3-1. Here comes the pitch to Andrea. It's over for a strike, and the count goes full. Chance here with Pueblo Azteca batting around here in the top half of the second to perhaps keep to just 9 men coming to bat in the second, but no. Plouffe able to draw a walk on the 3-2 pitch. And now runners are at the corners with 2 outs, and Sean McGinty for the second time here in the inning number 2 will come to bat. McGinty got things started with an 8-pitch at bat in which he drew a walk, and that opened the gate for what has become a very big inning for Pueblo Azteca, who now leads 5-0 here in Rapid City. Thanks, Oliver, for getting those pronunciations, and thanks to the Pueblo Azteca fans for sharing with us the right way to say all the names. I took 7 years of Spanish
I
in
got
school, so
I passed my AP Spanish literature. That's more than
Yes,
pretty
really.
much all Americans can say.
Pretty darn good. Here we go. Here comes the 1-1 pitch to McGinty with a second at-bat in this inning. Pitch from Sterling is right down central for a strike, and for the first time in quite a while, Papillion post 32 Pinnacle Bank pitcher Caden Sterling has moved ahead in the count. Runners are at the corners with 2 outs. Pueblo Azteca leads 5-0. There goes a base runner. That pitch is outside. That'll be a stolen base for Andrea Plouffe. And he now is at second base, so he's now at second. So runners are at second and third. Arita at third, Plouffe at second. Pitch to McGinty is popped up and playable. Called for by the shortstop, who makes the catch to retire the side. But what an impressive, explosive 5-run outburst for Pueblo Azteca here in the second inning in the 9 o'clock hour here in Rapid City, 9 o'clock hour Mountain Time. The Pueblo Azteca team scores 5 runs. They were all earned on a total of 1 hit. Just 1 hit, believe it or not.
It was a big one.
It was a big one. It was a 2-run double by Jason Arita, and there were 2 men left on base through an inning and a half here at Fitzgerald Stadium in Rapid City at the Post 22 American Legion Firecracker Tournament. It's Pueblo Azteca 5, Pinnacle Bank Papillion, Nebraska, Post 32 nothing. Papillion coming up on the home half of the second. This is Hard Hats TV.
Yeah, so in that break, let me get a few things here. So
go ahead and help me.
I must have messed it up yesterday because they were talking about Casillas, which Casillas is how it said. I thought I had done that.
That's how I was saying.
Yeah, and then he's not playing, but Arellano instead of Arellano, and then is Areola.
Okay, thanks. So those are more of yesterday's corrections than today. Okay.
Oh yeah, they were listening yesterday.
All right, well great. And I hope you're watching today. How are we doing on, do we have some folks watching that? Oh yeah, good count. Here we go. Connor Ossenfort takes the first pitch. So if you're watching from Papillion, I'll share a little bit about the broadcaster you're hearing in a moment. There's a pitch outside. And count now goes to 1 and 2. So my name is Mike Fell. I went to Creighton Prep in the 1980s, and I remember those epic games we used to have at Monarch Stadium between the Creighton Prep Junior Jays and the Papillion Monarchs. And I remember the stadium in Papillion distinctively because the stands went all the way from end zone to end zone, but they only went up about 6 or 7 rows. And you didn't have very good sight lines, but you sure had a lot of spirit in that old football stadium, that rickety football stadium. Ball is fouled onto the roof. And man, did we have some games down in Papillion, especially those playoff games, just hard-hitting duels between Papillion and Creighton Prep. There's a swing and a miss as Connor Ossenfort strikes out for the second K of the day. Now Alex Immig is up to bat. Alex Immig, the number 6 hitter in the lineup for Pinnacle Bank, post 32. Gets himself ready. Right-handed swinger, faces the pitch from the right-handed pitcher, and that pitch is outside or inside for ball 1. A lot of great games coming up today. Oliver Fell will have the games for you. Premier West versus Next Level comes your way at about 11:30. At 2 o'clock, Premier West takes on the Missoula Mavericks. Ball is hit towards the shortstop. Throw to first is way off the mark, and that's going to be
I would call that an infield single.
I think it's an infield single, but it's up to the official score. They're going to call it an error. No, they're not.
There you go, it's a hit.
It's a hit. Infield.
That would have been a hard
Alex
play for the
Immig.
shortstop to make.
Yeah. Alex Immig able to get an infield single, and with 1 out, there's a man on for the second time in as many innings for Pinnacle Bank. Trent Levecki, the number 7 hitter, will come to bat for the first time today.
Yeah, it's not as if Pinnacle Bank is not getting on the hitting side. They have started to chip away at Clements. They're getting on base. They're doing all of that. The hitting is there. This is what they did yesterday against Next Level. They stayed in there. It was a six inning game. It wasn't an immediate mercy rule, and they had about 7 people on the base paths, but they couldn't cash any.
There's a wild pitch, and easily running to second is Alex Immig. Wild pitch by Tyler Clemens. Tyler Clemens, a super senior. He attends Colorado State University Pueblo. We had a chance to see CSU Pueblo win at Chadron State about 13 years ago, and congratulations to all of you Thunderwolves fans. When you won the national championship, that was a big moment. There is a pop-up, and it will somehow be corralled by Clemens.
Good work.
He seemed to have the wrong angle, and at the very last moment, he adjusts, reaches out, and makes the catch. So Trent Levicki retired as the second out of the inning, and now Aiden Vodika comes up to bat. Vodika batting right-handed. Go ahead, Oliver.
Yeah, it should be noted that, I mean, Clement's not going to have any trouble with the sun here. He does hail from Chandler, and no greater place is there where a sun beats down on you than Chandler, Arizona.
Spoken like a true Sun Devil, which you are, Oliver.
Yeah.
You're between your
I'm
freshman
very
and
interesting. I have
sophomore
connections
years
to
of
all
Arizona
threes.
State.
I grew up in the Denver area in Aurora. I go to college down in Phoenix at Arizona State, and I'm doing it up here in South Dakota for a summer job.
Yep, and of course Omaha. Your dad's side of the family anchored in
We get connections
Omaha.
all over this.
You bet. 1-1 count. Now to Aiden Vodika. Vodika awaits the pitch coming from Tyler Clemens. Clemens pitching very well so far. He's only given up 1 hit. Pitch outside for ball 2. These two pitchers, the broadcaster's delight. They really work quickly. Keep it moving. Here comes the pitch, and the ball is swatted hard to center field. It might even go to the wall. It will. It finds the gap. That'll bring home a run, and Papillion Pinnacle Bank Post 32 is on the board with an RBI double from Aiden Vodika, driving in Alex Immig from second base, and Papillion Pinnacle Bank Post 32 able to rally and fight back. It's a 5-1 ball game with 2 outs here in the bottom of the second inning.
There's their first run of the tournament. It's a big moment there. They're going to get to play against the Hard Hats later today. Anything they can put together, start that momentum flowing, they could come back in this one and set themselves up for the game later.
Well, you know Tyler Clemens, who pitches at a very high standard as a super senior from CSU Pueblo, not happy giving up a run early here, but he is staked to a 4-run advantage at the moment with Pueblo Azteca leading 5-1. There's a pitch inside for ball 2, and Nathan Gabriel, the hitter, now works ahead in the count 2-0. Tyler Clements looks back to second, fires home, and the ball is fouled away. And there are now 3 kids chasing after foul balls. And what a way to make some money if you're a kid.
You get a buck of ball.
Get those balls, get a buck of ball, make it big, make it rain, so to speak.
Hey, you get 5 of them in an hour, you're earning nearly Wyoming minimum wage.
Here comes the 3-1 pitch to Nathan Gabriel.
The day they move the minimum wage in Wyoming is the day that
There's a swing and a miss.
The common man falls.
And that will, wait a minute. That was actually the second strikeout. I thought it was strike 3. It was just strike 2. Mm-hmm. Count is full with 2 outs. Pinnacle Bank has Vodika at second base with a good lead. Here comes the pitch. That's a swing and a miss. And for the 3rd time in 2 innings, Tyler Clements able to record an out by way of a strikeout, and that will retire the side. But Papillion Pinnacle Bank gets on the board and does answer as best they can after Azteca's 5-run second. Papillion Pinnacle Bank post 32 able to plate 1 run on 2 hits. There were no errors, and there was 1 man left at second base. Through 2 innings of play here at Fitzgerald Stadium in Rapid City, South Dakota, it is Pueblo Azteca 5, Papillion Post 32 1. You're watching Hardhats TV live from the Firecracker tournament. Breakfast pizza's here.
Okay, you need me to go get it for
Yeah,
you?
I'll give you some.
Okay. You want 1 slice too?
Just 1.
Okay. That works.
And we get ready to bring you the 3rd inning. We got an exciting announcement that breakfast pizza has arrived at Fitzgerald Stadium. If you haven't had Pizza Ranch breakfast pizza, you need to change that. It's very, very good. 5-1 our score. Pueblo Azteca leads by 4 runs. They've out-hit Pinnacle Bank Pavilion 3-2. Each team with 1 error assessed to their ledger so far today. We're happy to have you with us. Cole Calderon, the only underclassman for Pueblo Azteca, will lead things off here in the top half of the 3rd inning. Mike Fell with you, live from Rapid City. Big shout out to folks in both communities. I grew up in West Omaha near St. Roberts. And if you're from Papillion, you may know that part of Omaha, around 120th and Pacific Street. That's kind of where I come from. There's a pitch over. Count goes to 1 ball and 1 strike to Colt Calderon. There's a pitch high for a ball. Count is now 2-1. I think it's Yvonne Calderon, played in the big leagues for a long time. There's a swing and a miss for strike 2. Trying to remember what I can about Yvonne Calderon. I think he played in the 90s. I remember he had some gold chains, and he could hit the ball a long ways. Here comes a pitch, and that ball is fouled back to the screen. So now the 6th pitch in this at-bat, which is moving very quickly with Caden Sterling facing leadoff hitter Colt Calderon. It's ready to advance. Calderon is first time up with a strikeout victim. He fouls back a pitch all the way off of the batting cage facility above the grandstand. Here comes the 2-2 pitch to Colt Calderon, and that pitch is high, and the count now goes full. Quality at bats, a signature for the Pueblo Azteca team. They show tremendous plate discipline. They know how to hit. Ball is fouled away, and now we bring you the 10th pitch, rather the 9th pitch in this extended first at bat here in the 3rd inning. Here comes Sterling's delivery, and that is just over for strike 3. He freezes Colt Calderon, and that's the 3rd strikeout of the game for Caden Sterling, and for the 2nd time in 3 innings, Caden Sterling able to ring up the leadoff man for Pueblo Azteca to begin the inning. Here comes the pitch. Ball is lifted towards right field and playable, and it is caught by the right fielder for the 2nd out of the inning. Good pitch by Sterling, and a nice routine grab in right field by Hunter Jones. And now there are 2 men out and nobody on for Gabe Wren, who was able to draw a walk and score back in the 2nd inning. Thank you, Oliver, for bringing me some breakfast pizza. I didn't know what I was missing until the Veterans Classic as far as breakfast pizza from Pizza Ranch here in Rapid City. There's a pitch outside. Count goes to 1 ball and 1 strike to Gabe Wren.
I don't know if the Hard Hats learned their lesson, but they have significantly, they are not playing the three hardest teams in their pool play like they did in the Veterans Classic, where they played three really tough teams and then one easier one. All the hardest teams are there. We only play next level. We get to dodge the Pueblo team until at least the playoffs. So that's a relief for the Hard Hats who are seeing this offense thrive in these first two games.
I don't know about dodging. I mean, I think we know Post 22 can beat anyone anytime. They took down the College World Series tournament champions Millard South Pat Hagee team last week. That's a swing and a miss, and that's a 1-2-3 inning from Caden Sterling. Talk about a bounce back, well, I guess, after yielding 5 runs in the top of the second. Caden Sterling fights back, records 2 strikeouts, and gets a 1-2-3 inning against the 6, 7, and 8 hitters in the Pueblo Azteca lineup. So there were no runs, no hits, no errors, and no one left on base in the top half of the third inning. We now go to the home half of the third, and we go to the top of the order the second time through the lineup for Papillion Pinnacle Bank Post 32. Jake Franks, Braden Jones, and Tanner Apgar all due up with Hunter Jones, the cleanup hitter, to bat if anyone gets on base.
Yeah, so I did look into things, and there are a few college commits here on this Papillion team as well. To recap those, so for baseball at least, Papillion Pinnacle Bank has 3 commits currently on the team. They've got the 2-hole hitter and only man with the RBIs today, or at least I think he got a double earlier. Yeah, Braden Jones, he's going to Doane University NAIA school in Nebraska. Then Hunter Jones, who both pitches and hits. He is going to be at Northeast Community College, taking the JUCO route. And then finally, Jake Franks, the leadoff outfielder, will be playing D3 ball at the Milwaukee School of Engineering.
So Hunter Jones will be a college teammate with Harrison Good.
And
Northeastern JUCO?
It's just Northeast.
Oh,
I think that they're slightly different.
okay. I'm not so sure about that, Howard. That first pitch is over to Jake Franks for a strike. Here comes the next pitch. It's fouled off the catcher's mask for strike 2. Frank flew out to first baseman with a flare the first time up. Jake Franks, the leadoff hitter for this Post 32 ball club from Papillion, Nebraska, watches a pitch go outside for ball 1. Pinnacle Bank down by 4 runs. They're 0-1 in this tournament. They really need to find a way this morning here against Pueblo Azteca. Trailing 5-1, but you have to give credit where it's due to Pinnacle Bank. They were down 5-0. They answered with a run in the home half of the second, and then Caden Sterling took that momentum and got a 1-2-3 inning in the top half of the third. So you feel like Pinnacle Bank and Nate McCabe not backing down from this great team from Southern Colorado. Ball is dribbled to goes right in the air, low in the air to the glove of the second baseman, Andrea Plouffe, who makes the catch for Pueblo Azteca, and that's out number 1. And now Braden Jones, who had a double his first time up back in the first, will try to record another extra base hit here. Here comes the pitch from Tyler Clemens, and it's outside, or it's just caught the plate for a strike. What a great day for baseball. Make your entire day a baseball day and a baseball night. Doesn't get any better than what we have here at Fitzgerald Stadium here in Rapid City.
It's also
Pitch
a gorgeous
outside.
day.
It's a gorgeous day with no signs of thunderstorms in the forecast for once. Here comes the pitch, and that ball is outside for ball 2. Count is 2-1. Braden Jones plays first base. He had an impressive double his first time at bat. Here comes another pitch, and that is over for strike 2. Braden Jones trying to keep that hot bat going. With Pinnacle Bank down 4 runs here in the bottom of the third inning in the 7-inning game. Tyler Clemens able to induce a strike, but the ball goes back to the screen. Throw to first is not in time, and that'll be a strikeout and a reaching of the base by Braden Jones. Any way you can take it, you'll take it. That's the 4th strikeout of the game for Tyler Clemens. But, hey, Braden Jones is on base, and now here comes Tanner Apgar, and the gate is open for Pinnacle Bank to try to score a run here in the bottom of the 3rd.
Yeah, now let me tell you something here, and ask you a question. Are you a fan of the drop third strike rule?
Yeah, I am. Yes,
Okay.
I am. I think you got to play defense.
I suppose. My thought is that if they swing, they should be out.
I can see that, but I'd say no.
Because it's an out otherwise. It's not like you play it every time. If the man's at first, you just don't play it.
You got to field your position.
What's different about that? What's different about that?
Here comes the pitch. It's inside. I just think you gotta take care of business. You don't take care of business, guy should be at first base. So here comes the 2-1 pitch to Tanner Apgar. Leading off is Braden Jones. Ball is lifted to center and playable, and it will be caught for out number 2. Tanner Apgar, for the 2nd time in as many at bats, flies out for Pinnacle Bank post 32. And now Hunter Jones will come up to bat, try to help his brother, Braden Jones, who's at first base. We'll see if Hunter Jones can keep this inning going. It's an interesting discussion. I've just always maybe become attached to the concept that you have to record the out. It's not good enough just to have someone swing at something. Ball shouldn't just be rolling around somewhere.
Well, you did record the out. You got all 3 strikes.
All right, the ball. The ball needs to be secured. I think the ball is fouled out of play for strike 2, and now the count is no balls and 2 strikes to Hunter Jones with 2 outs.
My point is, if you fly out, you don't have to throw to first. If you strike out looking, you don't have to throw to first.
Okay, I see your point.
If any out, you don't have to do something extra to get it.
But I just think it's part of the battery in the game of baseball. Pitcher and catcher.
I mean, it's been around so long.
They've got to take care of their responsibilities. Here comes the pitch. It's high to Hunter Jones, and the count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes.
I can remember when this really came up was a no-hitter possibility or a perfect game chance for John Means in the MLB last year against the Mariners. He had a chance at a no-hitter, and the drop third strike brought the man on, or a perfect game, and the drop third strike in the 7th brought a man on, and people were like, well, he got a K. Should that really nullify his no-hitter?
Here comes the 1-2 pitch to Hunter Jones. That's a swing and a miss, strike 3. And Pueblo Azteca is able to blank Pinnacle Bank Papillion post 32 in the home half of the 3rd inning. They work around the strikeout reach base sequence with Braden Jones, and Tyler Clemens now with a handful of strikeouts through 3 innings. 9 outs have been recorded by 9 out of 9 outs. A majority of the outs have been recorded or featured. I shouldn't say outs because that was not an out when Braden Jones reached first, but there have been 5 strikeouts through 3 innings. Impressive piece of pitching by CSU Pueblo super senior Tyler Clemens. And in the bottom half of the 3rd inning, Papillion post 32, they had no runs. There were no hits, there were no errors, and there was 1 man left on base. And through 3 innings of play here at Fitzgerald Stadium, the score stands Pueblo Azteca 5, Pueblo, or rather Papillion, post 32 1. You're watching Hard Hats TV.
All right, this is pretty much the same deal that happened the last game for Papillion. They allowed an early jump. They allowed a 2-run first inning to the next level team. Then they allowed a 4-run second, and then they pitched 3 shutout and waited all the way until the 6th to have anything break open in what would become a walk-off 8-0 win with 2 outs in the 6th. So they're doing the same thing here. They're buying themselves time. They're doing some offense, and the pitching really seems to lock in as more runs come across, which is something you don't see on a lot of teams.
Ethan Ayala, the number 9 hitter, leads things off for Pueblo Azteca. He had a 2-run double that really created a good amount of separation in this game in favor of Pueblo Azteca. At the time, it was a 3-0 game. That double made it 5-0. Check that. Actually, that double took a 2-0 game and made it a 4-0 game at the time, back in the second inning. Ayala so far facing a 2-1 count. Caden Sterling back on the mound for his 4th inning of work, and that ball is drilled to center field for a base hit to lead things off. And Ayala is an impressive 2 for 2. And listen to those Pueblo Azteca fans. They love what just happened there from Ayala. Trying to think of major league players. I think there was a player named Luis Ayala. Played for a
There's
long
Miguel
time.
Ayala.
No,
At this
him.
moment, he's a catcher on the Marlins.
Okay.
I mean, in and out of the majors, but
Okay. Bouncing up and down, as they say. There's a pitch outside for a ball to Mike Casillas. Casillas proudly wears his hoodie, no matter what the temperature, no matter where the conditions. He is 0 for 1 today with a walk, a run, and a stolen base.
I nicknamed him the Hooded Bandit yesterday after he stole 3 bases and came around to score twice.
That's pretty good.
Thank you.
Speaking of bandits, you wonder what McDonald's will do with the old character, the Hamburglar. They're celebrating Grimace's birthday.
He's
This
a felon.
month.
He deserves no love.
Well, I think he's an amazing little character, and I wonder if we'll see
Now
a
you're willing to give him a second chance.
return of the Hamburglar. We'll have to see.
The prison population is too high. We shouldn't be celebrating criminals.
We're not celebrating criminals. It's just the Hamburglar. He just wants a hamburger.
Grimace was caught up with the wrong gang. Hamburglar was the wrong gang.
Whatever. You go talk to Ronald, I guess. Here's the 2-1
Ronald's not getting
pitch.
shown anymore.
Here comes the 2-1 pitch to Mike Casillas, and that pitch is outside for ball 3. Count moves to 3 balls and 1 strike. You say Hooded Bandit, just popped in there because I see Grimace whenever I go through the McDonald's drive-through. What about
Grimace
the
is doing a great
Hamburglar?
job.
Here comes the pitch. The ball is hit hard to left field, and that will be caught with full extension by Papillion-Bank's left fielder, Trent LeVecchi. What a great grab by LeVecchi, and that was a key play, as that keeps Ethan Ayala at first base, and now there is 1 out here in the top half of the 4th inning. Pueblo Azteca 5, Papillion Post 32, Pinnacle Bank 1.
Yeah, do me a favor and draw a star next to that one.
I will. We'll hang a star on that play by Tyler LeVecchi right
That was
there.
an outstanding play. That might be among the very best that we will see in this tournament defensively.
You might want to put it on the highlight reel.
Yep.
Here we go. Here comes the first pitch is a ball. Second pitch also high and inside for ball 2. Easy Rojas had a sac fly back in the second inning. He's 0 for 1 today. He has flown out to center both times he has been to bat.
I can't help but notice the dugout telling him to hit a nuke, and I quote. He did one yesterday. So.
Oh, okay. Easy Rojas, Ezekiel Rojas. That's his full name. Plays shortstop. Gets a 3-0 pitch. He's taking all the way, and that's a strike. Count is now 3-1. Boy, there have been some amazing developments this year in the game of baseball. A lot of teams have broken through, and there have been some big disappointments. Throw back to first is not in time.
Just got back.
Ethan Ayala just avoided the tag on a nice pickoff move by Caden Sterling and a tag attempt by Braden Jones. What a beautiful day. You can hear the birds chirping here. Ball is drilled foul into the home dugout. It just took a bounce. It just barely went over the fence line into the dugout. And I'm a little thrown off because the home team is actually in the visiting team, Pueblo Azteca, is actually in the home dugout. Something that kind of throws you off a little bit. Here comes the 3-2 pitch to Easy Rojas, and he hits the ball hard in the hole between third and short, and that'll be a base hit. And now, after a pair of singles around a fly out to right field, there are 2 on with only 1 out, and here comes Jason. This is Jason Arriola. And my apologies, we kept calling him Arita. Jason Arita, it's Arriola. The reason why he's Arriola is not Arita because my handwriting was so poor. My D should have been an L. Here we go. Here comes the pitch to Jason Arriola, the left-handed hitter, and that pitch is outside for ball 1.
I might add, Arriola was possibly the best defensive catcher I have seen this year, which is high praise. I've seen Owen Bruner of Spearfish. I've seen, our very own Philip Bentz for the Hard Hats. Some really good defensive catchers, but Arriola has a cannon to him. He beat the man to second on a throw that was pinpoint by about 2-3 strides yesterday against Missoula. He made some great defensive plays, and that was all after a strikeout. So he framed the ball, then picked it up, threw to second, got a double play on a very good throw. So there you go.
Ethan Ayala's at second base. Easy Rojas is at first. 1 out. Caden Sterling on the mound facing left-handed hitter Jason Arriola, who had a 2-run double back in the first inning. Right now, Pueblo Azteca putting a lot of pressure, relentless pressure on Caden Sterling and Pinnacle Bank. Here comes the 1-1 pitch to Arriola. Jason Arriola makes contact, hits the ball to second, throw to short for 1, throw to first is in time, and the Pinnacle Bank post 32 team turns a double play to finish out the 4th inning. And that was an impressive piece of defense right there. A 6-4-3, or rather a 4-6-3 double play finishes out the 4th inning and keeps Pueblo Azteca off of the scoreboard. There were no runs, there were 2 hits, there were no errors, and there was 1 man left on base through 3.5 innings. We're halfway through game number 1 of our 5-game showcase here at the Firecracker tournament. Day number 2 of the Firecracker tournament. It's Pueblo Azteca 5 and Papillion Bank post 32 from the Omaha area 1. This is Hard Hats TV coverage of the Firecracker tournament. In between innings, they're playing over the loudspeaker the song by Loverboy, Loving Every Minute of It. Did you know that in 1985, when that song was a big hit, the Kansas City radio station changed the lyrics to Loving Every Inning of It in honor of the Show Me I-70 World Series between the Kansas City Royals and the St. Louis Cardinals. Connor Ossenfort leads things off for Pinnacle Bank. Papillion post 32, who trails by 4 runs going into the 4th inning. On the mound, Tyler Clements. He has been great today. He's only given up a pair of singles. Or rather, that's not true, a pair of hits. Ball is chopped to the pitcher, throw to first. Easy does it. That's out number 1. Austin Fort retired for the second time in as many at-bats in this ball game. Now here comes Alex Immig. Immig had a single and scored Pinnacle Bank's only run back in the second inning. Mike Fell, Oliver Fell with you on a gorgeous morning for baseball here in West River, South Dakota. If you're wondering what's West River, South Dakota, well, the Missouri River split South Dakota in half, and those of us that live in South Dakota, we refer to West River and East River, and they're two very different, distinctive parts of the state for many reasons. I'll get into that in a moment. Next pitch is over for a strike. Count is 1-1 with 1 out. There's a high pitch outside for a ball. So the West River part of the state, more of a ranching part of the state, more of a tourism part. Of course, the Black Hills, Mount Rushmore on the western part of the state. You get east of the Missouri River, and it's primarily farmland, and you get that humidity. That's a swing and a miss, and they'll need to throw to first to record the out, and they will. And that's strikeout number 6 for Tyler Clements in this ball game. And that's 2 up, 2 down here in the 4th inning for Papillion Pinnacle Bank Post 32. Also, East River, you'll find Twins fans. Well, you find Twins fans all over South Dakota, but you find a lot more Vikings fans in East River, South Dakota. But you get across the Missouri River to West River, and it really turns into Broncos country in a hurry.
That's right.
There's a pitch, a swing and a miss. The count goes to 1 ball, 1 strike. So really half of South Dakota is primarily Vikings, and half is primarily...
Would you say the Missouri River is the western border of the Midwest region? Because I've noticed that there's a significantly larger Midwest on the East River side.
I definitely agree with that. I do. I agree with that completely.
And so this would be considered more of that Mountain West.
It's called, technically, the term for Rapid City's region is Intermountain West. And I like that term.
Okay.
Rapid City is in the Intermountain West. It's also kind of in the High Plains. There's a swing. That is a caught-looking strike 3. And for the second consecutive inning, or the third consecutive inning, Tyler Clements able to record a pair of strikeouts against Pinnacle Bank Post 32. He now has 5 strikeouts. He catches Trent Levicki looking on a 2-2 pitch, and that will quickly retire the side in the 4th inning. Another 1-2-3 inning recorded by, or the first 1-2-3 inning recorded in the day by Tyler Clements. There were no runs, no hits, no errors, no one left on base, and a pair of strikeouts. And through 4 innings of play here in the City of Presidents, Rapid City, Missouri, Rapid City, South Dakota, it is Pueblo Azteca 5 and Papillion Pinnacle Bank Post 32 1. You're watching Hard Hats TV.
Okay, well, we'll see. Papillion was able to hold off that next level team past the 2nd inning when they were down 6-0 for 3 innings of scoreless ball. They're coming up on their 3rd that they would have to throw. Not to say that it hasn't been, a little nerve-wracking for them. They had to make some really good defensive plays to keep the Azteca off the board. But all in all, pretty good there from Papillion. They're going to try to keep on buying time. If they go 7 innings here and they keep it close, I think that's a victory in and of itself against this great Pueblo team.
Well, I think in baseball there is just one victory. I look at football and I really do believe in moral victories in football. But in baseball, I just never look at it that way. And the reason is that no matter, you look at Major League Baseball. I mean, even the Oakland A's this year, they're going to win 50 games. I mean, every team's going to win 50. Every team's going to lose 50. It's just a game where you always have a chance. Andrea Plouffe comes up to lead off here, the cleanup hitter for Pueblo Azteca. He's 0 for 1 with a walk and a stolen base. Andrea Plouffe, right-handed hitter, waits for the pitch from Caden Sterling, and then the ball is fouled back hard to the netting. Count is quickly 0-2. Give Pinnacle Bank credit. They're hanging in there with an outstanding Pueblo Azteca team that's trying to get to 2-0 here in the Firecracker tournament this morning. This is the only game of the day for Pueblo Azteca. They'll have a big doubleheader coming up tomorrow, and I'll tell you folks, you definitely want to see. I think it's at 2:30, Oliver. You have the schedule. I don't. And, there's a wild pitch, but I think it's at 2:30 tomorrow. The next level team will take on
4:30. Or wait, this is no.
Tomorrow.
Pueblo Next Level is tomorrow at 4:30.
There at 4:30. Make sure tomorrow at 4:30 you get out to see Pueblo Azteca versus Next Level from Asheville, North Carolina. It will be amazing. Ball lifted to the warning track, and it's dropped by Levecki in left field. That's going to be an error on the left fielder. And Andrea Plouffe able to reach on an E7 to lead things off in the visitors' half of the 5th inning. And we just saw Tyler Levecki make that incredible diving catch last inning, and then he drops what was really a routine, deeply skied fly ball to the warning track in front of the Black Hills Community Bank sign in left field. And that really opens the door for Pueblo Azteca. And you feel for Caden Sterling. He should have nobody out and nobody on and 1 out. Instead, he has a man in scoring position and nobody out because Levecki committed the error and left. Sean McGinty, now the hitter, faces a strike from Sterling, then swings hard and misses everything for strike 2. Big congratulations again to the LSU Tigers, College World Series champions. Also a congratulations to the Pat Hagee Millard South Patriots Legion team. They were the College World Series Legion champions last weekend. Of course, Rapid City Post 32 gave them their only loss last week in Omaha. Ball is fouled away, and count remains at 0-2 to McGinty. McGinty is 0-1, 0 for 1 today with a walk and a run scored back in the second. And there's strike 3. McGinty is caught looking. He has a grimace as he walks back to the dugout. He was sure it was a ball, but it was a strike, and that is the 5th strikeout of the game for Caden Sterling, who I think has pitched really well. He just had that one tough inning back in the second, and that's what great teams like Pueblo Azteca, who comes into this game with a mark of 19 wins and only 3 losses. That's what teams like Pueblo Azteca do. They really exploit those opportunities in innings like what we saw in the second inning. Colt Calderon now the hitter. Colt Calderon quickly even in the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. Colt 0 for 2 with a pair of strikeouts so far.
I did get a note on him. It's Calderon.
Oh, Calderon.
Calderon is, some people, that's how it's done. No
Okay.
better interference on that one.
There's a stolen base by Andrea Plouffe. He's now at third base with 1 out. So any kind of hard contact could add an important insurance run for Pueblo Azteca, who right now has a grand slam range lead of 4 runs. It's 5-1. There's a swing and a miss by Calderon. Is it Calderon? Calderon, thank you. Calderon.
I mean, Calderon's correct sometimes. I know Jose Calderon, the legendary Spanish basketball player, went by Calderon, but Calderon is what I've heard here.
Calderon hits the ball hard to right field. It'll be caught. This should be a sac fly RBI. Racing home and scoring is Plouffe, and Pueblo Azteca has extended their lead back to a game-high 5 runs, now taking a 6-1 advantage on a sac fly by Colt Calderon as he flies out to right field. And Pueblo Azteca celebrates, and right now Pueblo Azteca looking really good here in the bottom of the 5th. to get to 20-3 on the year, and more importantly, 2-0 here at the Firecracker tournament this morning, and day number 2 of this 5-day showcase. First pitch to Brady Cristelli is over for a strike. Brady is 0 for 1 with a walk and a run scored. Cristelli scored back in the second inning. So I told you I've been to Pueblo a couple of times. There are some really good Italian restaurants in Pueblo. Count goes to 1-2 strikes. Did you know that legendary Chicago mobster Al Capone used to take winter vacations to Pueblo back in the day when he was a free man? You can look it up. It's part of Pueblo's history. 2-2 count with 2 outs. Brady Cristelli waits for the pitch from Caden Sterling. Pitch is a swing and a miss. Strike 3, and that'll do it. But Pueblo Azteca is able to plate 1 run, all made possible by an error in left field by Tyler Levecki. There were no hits. There was 1 run, it was unearned, and there were no one left on base. Through 4.5 innings here in Rapid City, it is Pueblo Azteca 6, Papillion Pinnacle Bank Post 32 1. You're watching Firecracker Tournament coverage, day number 2. Mike Fell, Oliver Fell with you on Hard Hats TV.
Well, yeah, so 1 run scores there. All in all, a pretty good inning of pitching, though. You allow the 1 on. It's not your fault. It's thanks to an error in left. You get your 3 outs, and the next 2 on everybody but the error. Can't complain about the pitching there. And so it's a 5-run game. They've just got to keep on chipping away at it. They've been able to get to Clements, but we'll see if they're able to continue to do so.
We're sure glad to have you with us. A wonderful tournament. We give a shout out to some important people. Wayne Sullivan, General Manager for Post 22, for all he does. Kelly Roach for being the tournament administrator here at the Firecracker tournament. She's the tournament director this year. And also Darren Good. He's everywhere doing everything. He's a super parent, as we call him. Ball is hit hard, well into the corner. That's going to be at least two bases, and a leadoff double for Aiden Vodka. Gets things going with a bit of a bang here in the bottom of the 5th. Aiden Vodka, who drove in Post 32's only run back in the game back in the second inning. Now with a pair of doubles. Aiden Vodka may be making a case here. He should bat a little higher in the order for Nate McCabe as he comes through with a pair of extra base hits in as many plate appearances with a leadoff double here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Now here comes a pitch to Nathan Gabriel. He hits a bouncer to the third baseman, throw to first in time, and that will be out number 1. The infield defense on the left side of the infield for Pueblo Azteca with shortstop Easy Rojas and third baseman Colt Calderon have been very solid. I've really been impressed with the left side of the infield for Pueblo Azteca. There's a swing and a miss for a strike to lead things off here with Jake Franks, who has flown out twice to the opposing Azteca infield and is 0 for 2 today. Tries to bring home Aiden Vodka, who is at first base with just 1 out. Any kind of hard contact?
Third base.
Third base with 1 out. Any kind of hard contact can bring in a run. Ball is fouled on top of the grassy berm behind the home dugout. And a young man races and gets the ball before another young man can do the same thing. He gets it out. Ball is popped up to right field, and it is caught. against the warning track, and that'll bring home a run. And there is a sac fly RBI by Jake Franks. He really gave that ball a ride
It just kept on
into the
hanging out there.
right field corner, and it really kept carrying. That's right, Oliver. And that was an RBI that scores Aiden Vodka. Give Jake Franks credit. He gets his first RBI of the game. And it's now a 6-2 ball game. Again, Pinnacle Bank Post 32 from Papillion, Nebraska, from the Omaha area, the Sarpy County, Nebraska is where Papillion's located. Most of Omaha, by the way, is in Douglas County, and just south of Omaha is Papillion-La Vista, and you get into Sarpy County. The count is 2-1 now to Braden Jones. Braden has reached base twice, including a double back in the first inning. Nobody on. A run has scored against Tyler Clements here in the bottom of the fifth inning. Papillion-La Vista down to their last 7 outs in this game. They need to get more offense going than just the 2 runs they currently possess. Count goes full to 3-2. Braden Jones waits for the pitch from Tyler Clements. Clements from Pueblo Azteca pulls the string and records his 8th strikeout of the morning. And Pueblo Azteca shuts the door, and through 5 innings of play, it's Pueblo Azteca 6, Papillion Post 32, Pinnacle Bank 2. This is Hard Hats TV, live from the Firecracker tournament.
All right, we go to the 6th. This is where Papillion ran into trouble last time. They were able to get those 3 shutout. They allowed just the 1 that's completely unearned this time. But in the bottom of the 6th, that next level baseball team stringed together a few hits. They finally started to hit at them. They got like 4 hits. They brought in 2 extra runs in the walk-off. So they've got to watch out here. This is about where the starter seems to unravel.
Recapping the bottom of the 5th inning, Pinnacle Bank Post 32 scored 1 run. It was earned. There was 1 hit, Aiden Vodka's leadoff double. There were no errors, and there were no men left on base. We now go to the top of the 6th. Coming to bat for the 3rd time today will be Gabe Rand, Ethan Ayala, and Mike Casillas. And if anyone gets on, Easy Rojas will come to the plate for Pueblo Azteca. Pueblo Azteca trying to become the first team in the Firecracker tournament to get to 2-0 in tournament play. This will be the only game of the day for Pueblo Azteca, and they are off to a great start. They have out-hit Papillion Pinnacle Bank 5-3. They lead 6-2. They've committed 1 fewer error than Pinnacle Bank. Ball is lifted to right field and caught for out number 1. That's the 2nd time Gabe Wren has been recorded for an out today. He walked and scored back in the 2nd inning in that big 5-run 2nd inning, which really has been the difference in this game, to be quite candid. We're in the top half of the 6th inning. Nobody on, 1 out. Here comes Ethan Ayala. He's had a great day. He's had a pair of hits, 2 for 2. Scored a run and had a 2 RBI double back in the 2nd inning. That really created some separation between these 2 ball clubs. Here comes a pitch from Caden Sterling. Ball is hit hard to short. Throw to first is on the money for out number 2. That's a 6-3 ground out. And now Mike Casillas will come to bat. Casillas 0 for 2 today. Scored a run, got a walk, and picked up a walk and earned a stolen base. Mike Casillas, leadoff hitter for this outstanding Pueblo Azteca team. Here comes the pitch to Mike Casillas, and that pitch is inside for a ball. These 2 starters, I think, have pitched very well. Caden Sterling with 6 strikeouts for Pinnacle Bank today, and Tyler Clements, he has 8 Ks to his name this morning. 14 combined strikeouts between 2 aces for these respective teams. And this game has moved very quickly. These pitchers pitch with a purpose. They know what they're doing. Ball goes to Casillas. Casillas hits the ball to center, and it is caught on a slide by Papillion Bank center fielder Jake Franks, and that will retire the side. It's the second 1-2-3 inning in the game for Caden Sterling, and the score remains Pueblo Azteca 6 and Papillion Bank Post 32 2. You're watching Hard Hats TV. There were no runs, no hits, no errors, no one left on base in a 1-2-3 inning in the top half of the 6th. Azteca continues to lead by 4, and let's see if Pinnacle Bank Post 32 can rally as we move to the bottom of the 6th.
Absolutely. Well, they did get past that challenge I was thinking was going to happen there in the 6th. They are still up against Clements. Clements has just been great all day. 2 runs have scored against him. They keep on getting one guy on, moving him around, and then scoring. They can't do that anymore. They're down to their final 6 outs. They're down by 4 runs. They need to get multiple hits in an inning for the first time, and they need to kind of start some sort of rally here if they plan on winning sooner rather than later.
Great analysis, Oliver. Oliver, you're going to have the play-by-play for the games coming up next, and what's our next game at 11:30?
Our next game coming up will be the Premier West team from Arvada, Colorado, up against Next Level Baseball. Premier West lost the game last night 10-3.
To Post 22.
Post 22. Meanwhile, Next Level won 11-0 over this Papillion team. Or they won, 11-0 over Papillion.
Tanner Apgar coming to bat. It'll be the heart of the order for Nate McCabe's Post 32 Pinnacle Bank team from Papillion, Nebraska. Tyler Clements back out there for his 6th inning of work, with Pueblo Azteca on top 6-2. There's a strike. Count goes to 2-1 to Tanner Apgar. Apgar 0 for 2 this morning. Waits for the next pitch, and that's a swing and a miss off the shoulder of the well-padded, protected umpire. Count now moves to 2 balls and 2 strikes. This Pueblo Azteca team, I really think they have a shot at this championship here, this 4th of July weekend. There's a pitch high, goes to 3 balls and 2 strikes for Papillion. Pinnacle Bank, as Apgar stays alive with a nice cut back to the screen. Count remains full at 3-2. For Papillion Bank, they could very well drop to 0-2 if they cannot rally in the 6th and 7th inning. Ball is fouled away, running out of room for Pueblo Azteca as first baseman Sean McGinty, and we'll do it all over again. Tanner Apgar now working deep into the count against Tyler Clements to lead off the 6th inning. Here comes the 8th pitch in this at bat. The pitch is outside for ball 4, and for the first time today, Tanner Apgar will trot down to first base, and the leadoff man is aboard. That is the first time, check that, the second time today that Pinnacle Bank has been able to get the leadoff man aboard against Tyler Clements and Pueblo Azteca. Now here comes Hunter Jones. Pitch to Hunter is a swing and a miss to lead things off. Hunter has been a strikeout victim both times he's come to the plate back in the 1st and 3rd innings. We'll see if there'll be a different outcome here for the leadoff hitter for Post 32. Ball is hit hard and through the hole on the left side of the infield for a base hit. And now there are 2 on and nobody out. And that is something we haven't seen much of today from Papillion Pinnacle Bank, as they now have a pair of hitters on base with nobody out in this 4-run ball game. Folks, this game is getting very interesting in a hurry.
I mean, yeah, this is exactly what they needed to do. You got to be getting excited if you're a Papillion person. You're only down by 4 runs.
Papillion fan. Papillion fan, not Papillion person. I'm giving you a hard time.
Yeah.
There we go. There's a pitch. It's over for a strike. Connor Ossenfort now the hitter. Ossenfort 0 for 2 today. Trying to break through here with 2 men on and nobody out. Connor Ossenfort, the DH, waits for the pitch from Clemens, and it's outside for a ball. And now we're seeing some activity as a relief pitcher and a backup catcher trot down to the bullpen for Pueblo Azteca. Clemens starting to show some cracks, and there's a base hit just over the extended reach of the second baseman, and the bases are loaded. Woo! Connor Ossenfort,
what's going on here now?
Load the bases. Apgar is at third. Hunter Jones is at second, and now Alex Imig represents the tying run, and we will see a conference at the mound. Tyler Clemens, who has pitched marvelously today and recorded 8 strikeouts, loads the bases here in the bottom of the 6th. Quickly, the bullpen activates for Pueblo Azteca. And how about Pinnacle Bank from Papillion, Nebraska? They have managed to bring the tying run to the plate. They trailed 5-0, then they trailed 6-1. They're down 6-2, but this game is getting extremely suspenseful and exciting, with everybody reaching base here in the bottom of the 6th inning. And even if Papillion Pinnacle Bank can't tie the game here in the bottom of the 6th, they have a golden opportunity to move to within a run or two at the very least. There's a pitch from Clemens. Clemens likely being told that he's on a short leash with a man warming up in the bullpen for Pueblo Azteca. There's a foul chop by Alex Imig. Alex Imig, the hitter with the bases loaded. He had a single back in the 2nd inning and scored. He struck out back in the 4th. Here comes a pitch, and he's hit in the back by Tyler Clemens. A hit by pitch is an RBI for Alex Imig. He goes to first. Tanner Apgar, who drew a leadoff walk, he comes home to score. And now it is a 6-3 ball game. Hunter Jones is at third. Connor Ossenfort's at second. And here comes Trent Levecki. Trent Levecki, who's had great adventures, good and bad, in left field, trying to get his first hit. He hits the ball. Could be 2. Handled by the shortstop. Throw to second is in time. Throw to first is high and handled, but a base runner will reach first. Levecki reaches on a fielder's choice, and that's an RBI by Trent Levecki on a fielder's choice. That brings home Hunter Jones, and now it is a 6-4 ball game. Pinnacle Bank Post 32 has cut their deficit in half. Connor Ossenfort's now at third base with just an out, and runners are at the corners for Aiden Vodka, who has had a pair of doubles today, and has really brought the lumber for Pinnacle Bank Post 32.
If he hits one more of those, that would tie the game.
Could we have a bases clearing third double of the game for Pinnacle Bank's Aiden Vodka, who has a pair of doubles already this morning? It's a 6-4 ball game. Pueblo Azteca and ace Tyler Clemens getting a real challenge here in the home half of the 6th inning, and that's strike 3. Clemens, for the first time this morning, and just in the nick of time, records a strikeout against Aiden Vodka. That's the first out of the inning and the 9th K of the ball game for Clemens. And now here comes number 9 hitter, who is 0 for 2 today, catcher Nathan Gabriel. Certainly a player that could be a double play candidate, you would have to think, or could be a ground out candidate at first. 2 outs, runners at the corners. It's a 6-4 game. Clemens, perhaps it's his last inning of work with a man warming up in the bullpen, gets a strike to make it 1 ball and 1 strike. It's a 2-run ball game. And by the way, Levecki is now at second, so the tying runs are in scoring position. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. It's just outside for ball 2. Can Nathan Gabriel come through here and tie the game? A base hit would tie it for Papillion, Pinnacle Bank, post 32. Clements takes his time, rocks, fires, 2-1 pitch, fouled away, and the count goes to 2-2. Pinnacle Bank from Papillion, Nebraska, with a golden opportunity to come all the way back from a 5-run deficit, but down to their final strike here in the bottom of the 6th. Here comes the pitch, and it's a bouncer outside, and the count goes full.
I gotta say, this is gonna be something big because no matter what, Papillion comes into this game a 9-16 team. They are 0-1 in this tournament. They were definitely big underdogs in this game.
Here comes a pitch, and they're going to call it a strike. Throw down to first is in time, and Tyler Clemens hits double digits for strikeouts and keeps the lead at 2 runs for Pueblo Azteca as the number 9 hitter Nathan Gabriel is retired on a strikeout and a 2-3 throwout down to first. And Pueblo Azteca seemingly dodges the proverbial bullet as they leave the tying runs in scoring position. And when faced with the bases loaded and nobody out, they manage to keep some separation and retain their lead going into the final inning of this 7-inning contest. To recap, a very dramatic and exciting 6th inning. Papillion, Pinnacle Bank, post 32, scored 2 runs on a pair of hits. There were no errors, and there were 2 men left on base. Through 6 innings of play, it's Pueblo Azteca from Pueblo, Colorado, 6, and it's Pinnacle Bank, post 32 from Papillion, Nebraska, 4. This is Hard Hats TV.
It's going to be a big thing. So that Papillion got what they needed there. They started up a run, a little bit of a hit train. They got their 2 runs. They're now in very close striking distance. They knocked what should be. They should knock out the starter from pitching the 7th here. They will have a different pitcher to face. They did leave 2 on in scoring position, which I know they wish they could have done better. They scored 2 though. They got significantly closer, and might I add, I think most people wrote them off for this game, and look at them do it now. They are very close to upsetting this 19-3 Pueblo team.
It's a very exciting game, and you have to give Pinnacle Bank credit. Sometimes it's the little things. You look at the team from the men from Papillion, Nebraska. When they were down 5-0, they got a run. It was just a run, but they answered. And give a lot of credit to Caden Sterling, who has pitched well today. He had that 1 bad inning, but other than that, he has only yielded 1 run to this unearned. Good point there. He has not given up an earned run outside of that 1 tough inning back in the 2nd. So we've got ourselves a ball game. We go into the 7th and final frame. Mike Fell, Oliver Fell with you here on Hard Hats TV. We're happy you're with us wherever you're tuning in, maybe from the Cornhusker State or the Centennial State. We're right here in Rapid City. There's a pitch over for a ball and strike rather. It's 1-1. Coming up to bat for Pueblo Azteca, it's the top half of the lineup. Easy Rojas leads things off. Jason Ariola will hit 2nd. And then Andrea Plouffe will come up to bat 3rd as the cleanup hitter. Easy Rojas today, 1 for 2 with a sac fly, RBI back in the 2nd. Easy Rojas has played some great shortstop, I might add.
Yeah, he's got a ton of power. He hit that homer and a double yesterday. We'll see if he can do some here.
Comes a pitch from Sterling. That's a pitch that lands in front of home plate. The count goes full to 3-2. Caden Sterling. He's pitched extremely well except for one tough inning back in the second. Here comes a pitch from Sterling, and that ball is drilled foul down the left field fence. 3-2 pitch coming up to Ezekiel Rojas from Pueblo, Colorado. Here comes the pitch. And Zeke going to hit a dribbler to third, throw to first, not in time. Zeke Rojas just turned on the afterburners. He didn't hit the ball that well.
No, he didn't.
And that was a good thing for him because that made it so that by the time that Pinnacle Bank's third baseman Tanner Apgar could get his glove on the baseball, I would have to say that Easy Rojas was just about to first base. And there goes Easy Rojas. He's going to steal second like he's Vince Coleman back in the day.
Mariners legend. He played there when he was 41 for a single year.
If he's a Mariners legend, then the bar's pretty low in Seattle. Here comes the pitch now to Jason Arriola. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Sterling pitches to left-handed swinger Jason Arriola, who's 2 for 3 today with a pair of RBIs. Again, back in the second inning.
Yeah, I gotta say, I mean, Arriola, pretty good batter here. He's got a man fast there. This extra run would be a lot.
Here comes the pitch. It's inside. Throw down to third. Attempted steal by Zeke Rojas will be saved.
Oh, he dodged it.
Somehow Zeke Rojas, Rojas rather.
Yeah.
Easy Rojas able to get around the tag from Tanner Apgar, and the speed was absolutely remarkable. But the catcher for Papillion, Nathan Gabriel, he was all over that, and he threw down with plenty of time to third. But Easy Rojas gets the stolen base, and he's at third with nobody out, representing a very important insurance run here in the top half of the seventh inning.
That would have been huge for this team to get that out, get the runner off, and they really had a chance. He just dodged it.
Here comes the 3-1 pitch. Ball is struck deep to right, and it is off the wall. 1 run will score, and that'll be a stand-up RBI double by Jason Arriola. And listen to these fans from Pueblo. Man, there's a howl, a Thunderwolves wolf howl there from one of the Pueblo faithful that made the long trek north to Rapid City. Man alive, that was a big insurance run for Pueblo Azteca, and that's the first earned run that Caden Sterling has allowed, notwithstanding the 5-run second inning by Pueblo Azteca. There's a pitch and a high swing and a miss to Andrea Plouffe. So Easy Rojas scores easily. And that ball was probably about 7 feet away from leaving the ballpark.
Yeah, it hit the wall off of the Wrench Law.
Yes, the Wrench Law advertisement in between the State Farm and Common Sense convenience store billboards. Here comes the pitch to Andrea Plouffe, and that's a swing and a miss, strike 2. Want to thank all of you for tuning in wherever you may be. Give a shout out to any home folks who might know me. My name is Mike Fell. I'm from Omaha. I did not grow up near Papillion, but I know a lot of folks that grew up in West Omaha probably have settled in Papillion. It's a great place to raise a family. Count is 0-2 to Andrea Plouffe. Sterling looks back to second. Ball is hit up the middle and through for a base hit. That'll score the 8th run of the game.
Watch out.
And the attempt to get the second is successful as Plouffe, with some heads-up base running, is able to take a long single and turn it into a two-bagger, and that brings home Jason Arriola with the 8th run of the game, and that is a huge insurance run. Now the Pueblo Azteca team in great position. And we'll have to see if the thought process is adjusted with a 4-run lead and see if we perhaps see Tyler Clemens come out and pitch the 7th inning now that it's back to a 4-run lead.
His pitch count has to be rather high. He has a lot of Ks and whatnot.
He has 10 strikeouts. Great point, Oliver.
A lot of Ks and many of batters allowed. He's got to be running up there in pitches. I would have to think that if they ever plan on using him again for anything but hitting, they have to keep him off.
Sean McGinty comes up to bat. He is 0 for 2 with a walk and a run scored back in inning number 2. Count is 1-1. Man at second is Andrea Plouffe. Pueblo Azteca has been able to answer a 2-run bottom of the 6th by Pinnacle Bank with 2 runs of their own here in the visitors' half of the 7th inning. Currently, Pueblo Azteca, who has led throughout this game, is on top 8-4. They've out-hit Papillion 8-5. Pitch is over for strike 3, and look at that argument. Sean McGinty giving an earful to the home plate umpire.
Man, he's getting told to sit down.
He is warned about that outburst, and that is going to be the first out of the inning.
I personally thought that was a strike.
By Caden Sterling. It's been called a strike all day.
Yeah, That's
what matters.
I've seen far more egregious.
Has been there.
I've seen far more egregious strikeouts happen, this year than that one. That one didn't really feel that bad.
I think it's been a very well called game. The umpire has had a wide strike zone, and he has consistently called it that way through every inning for both teams. That's all you can ask for. Colt Calderon now up to bat. Colt had a sac fly RBI back in the 5th inning, and he is 0 for 2 today. That ball is by Colt. It's going to be fouled out of here for a strike. Looks like one of the teams has arrived. I think that's Premier West from Arvada.
Nope. MLB. I see it on the little kid's shirt.
Oh, it's Next Level. Next Level is in the house from Asheville, North Carolina.
They're 1-0.
They're 1-0, and they are one of the top 20 ranked teams in America. Ball is popped up and playable.
Watch out.
For by the shortstop. He makes the catch. He will not throw back to first, and Colt Calderon is retired with a fly out to the shortstop for out number 2, and Andrea Plouffe goes back to second base. Now here comes Brady Cristelli. Cristelli 0 for 2 today with a run scored and a walk back in the 2nd inning. Cristelli trying to bring home yet another insurance run with 2 outs here in the top of the 7th inning. Mike Fell, Oliver Fell with you. And there's a throw back to second. It's off the tip of the second baseman's glove. And advancing from second to third is Andrea Plouffe. And now Brady Cristelli digs in with 2 outs and an insurance run standing at third base. Here comes the pitch to Brady Cristelli. And the pitch is over for a strike. Caden Sterling, perhaps facing his last hitter of the day, has pitched a complete game, it appears, today for Pinnacle Bank, and has pitched very well, with the exception of a tough 2nd inning where he gave up a handful of runs to Pueblo Azteca. Count goes to 0-2 now. Brady Cristelli getting a whole bunch of come on Brady's, something that many people said in New England for 20 years around football games at Gillette Stadium. Come on, Brady.
Something new that's going to happen in Las Vegas soon as well, as he takes minority ownership.
Ownership doesn't draw cheers. It draws a lot more jeers. Here's a swing and a miss, and that's 8 Ks on the day for Caden Sterling. He gets a nice bit of attaboys from his teammates, and that retires the side. He did pitch a great game
against this amazing
a great team. And for Pinnacle Bank, they're down to their last 3 outs. They're down 4 runs, but they showed they could load the bases with nobody out back in the 6th. So this game is not over. Don't go away. There were 2 runs scored in the top of the 7th inning for Pueblo Azteca on a total of 3 hits, and there was 1 error committed, and there was 1 man left on third base. Through 6.5 innings of action here in Game 1 of our 5-game day number 2 showcase from the Firecracker tournament, it is 8-4 in favor of Pueblo Azteca, and we have a relief pitcher out there. It's a non-save situation. Coming in to pitch is number 14 for Pueblo Azteca. Jason Arriola, I guess, has gone ahead and slid over
to the
pitch.
DH, right?
Yep, he was the DH. So Jason Arriola.
I can attest to his arm, is all I'm saying.
Okay, Jason Arriola will go ahead and take the mound here in the 7th inning. How about the day for Tyler Clemens? He is the pitcher of record on the winning side at the moment. And he struck out 10 Pinnacle Bank team members. There's a dribbler to first, throw back to the pitcher. He seemed to get to the bag first.
He did.
And then he tumbled, and I think that's an out. It is. That's a 3-1 put out on Jake Franks.
They were all trying not to hit each other. One of them's the Pinnacle player tripped as they tried to get out of the way.
Now Braden Jones comes to bat. Braden today got things going in the first inning with a double. He is 1 for 3 today. Braden reached base on a strikeout back in the 3rd inning. Jason Arriola, the relief pitcher, in a non-save situation. Pueblo Azteca staked to a 4-run lead after getting a 2-run response to Pinnacle Bank's 2-run rally in the bottom of the previous inning. Count is 1-2 now to Braden Jones. Braden Jones waits for the pitch from Arriola, and that pitch is outside and low for a ball. Great. What a great tournament the Firecracker tournament is. And we are happy to be with you for all of the games these 5 days here on Hard Hats TV. Count goes full to 3 balls and 2 strikes. Braden Jones now trying to get something going with 1 out here in the bottom of the 7th. He fouls the ball away. Pueblo Azteca 2 outs away from advancing to 2-0 in the Firecracker tournament. Their day will be complete when this game is over. Here comes the 3-2 pitch. That's a swing and a miss.
Oh, not a miss. He did tip it.
He just barely stayed alive with a foul tip. Braden Jones trying to just get on base. Pinnacle Bank down 4 runs. You know, they have to be frustrated. They stranded those tying runs at the end of the 6th inning after having the bases loaded with nobody out. It was an impressive rally by Pinnacle Bank, and it really got the crowd back into this game. But Pueblo Azteca, as you would expect from a 19-3 team, they were unfazed. Held their lead and then extended their lead back out to 4 runs. And there's a walk to Braden Jones. Good at bat there by Braden, who reaches base for the 2nd time today. And now here comes Tanner Apgar. Tanner 0 for 2 today with a walk and a run scored back in the 6th inning. Tanner Apgar waits for the pitch from Jason Arriola. Arriola, right-hander, fires a pitch, and that is just off the plate for ball 1. Pinnacle Bank 9-16 on the season, trying to avoid a fall to 0-2 here in the Firecracker tournament. They're going to have to dig deep and find a way here as the home team in the home half of the final inning of this 7-inning affair. Comes a pitch to Apgar, and that is over for a strike. The count goes to 2 balls and 1 strike. I've been impressed by the moxie this Pinnacle Bank team has shown today, Oliver.
Yep. They were unwilling to give up at any point here. They still are.
Ball is hit hard, and it is right to the right fielder, who makes the catch for the second out here in the bottom of the 7th. And now Pueblo Azteca is 1 out away from getting to 20-3 overall and 2-0 in the 2023 Firecracker tournament. A lot of excited fans from Pueblo ready to just burst in excitement here at the Firecracker. Hunter Jones, the cleanup man, up to bat. He is 1 for 3 with a run scored today. Braden Jones is at first base. Pueblo Azteca on top 8-4. Mike Fell, Oliver Fell with you. It's been a real privilege and pleasure to broadcast to all of you, and always special for me to broadcast to anybody back in the Omaha area. That's my hometown. Ball is hit towards the second shortstop. Rojas to first is in time, and that'll be the ball game. Easy Rojas with a throw to first shuts the door, and Pueblo Azteca is victorious 8-4 in a 7-inning game. And listen to the howls and the applause and the cheers from all of these happy Pueblo Azteca fans as Pueblo Azteca defeats Pinnacle Bank post 32 8-4. To recap the bottom of the 7th inning, there were no runs, no hits, no errors. There was 1 man left on base. The final score, it's Pueblo Azteca 8, Pinnacle Bank post 32 4. Final count, rundown, Pueblo Azteca had 8 runs, 8 hits. They only committed 1 error in the early innings. And for Pinnacle Bank, they dropped to 9-17 on the season, 0-2 in the Firecracker tournament. They had 4 runs on 5 hits. They committed 3 errors, and that is a recap of our ball game. Congratulations to Pueblo Azteca, 20-3 on the year and 2-0 to start the Firecracker tournament. They will have a big doubleheader coming up starting at 2 o'clock in a rematch game against Pinnacle Bank at 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. And then Pueblo Azteca will take on Next Level in that premier clash at 4:30 tomorrow in the late afternoon and early evening. For my partner Oliver Fell, this has been Mike Fell. Thank you for watching. The final score here in Game 1 of our 5-game showcase in Day 2 of the Firecracker tournament. It is Pueblo Azteca 8 and Papillion post 32 Pinnacle Bank 4. Thanks for watching.